Hello students, now we are going to start with the next process after the process of pregnancy is parturition. Parturition means the expulsion of the baby from the mother's uterus after the completion of the complete gestation period. So just see, after 9 months, what happened to the mother's as well as the fetal body, that the baby will be expelled outside. See, the process parturition, the definition would be the expulsion of the full grown baby from the uterus after complete gestation period is called parturition. So this parturition process is under the control of both nervous and hormonal. So that's why what happened, this parturition will actually require numbers of nervous regulation as well as numbers of hormones too. So it is under the control of nervous and hormonal control. So just see how this process will be started. So just see, first of all, the parturition process will be initiated by one reflex called fetal ejection reflex, or FER. Fetal ejection reflex is actually initiated by the fetus as well as the placenta. See, one question came in NEET as well as in AIMS, that how this FER or fetal ejection reflex is initiated. Who actually initiate FER? So it is not the fetus or not the mother. It is both by the fetal side as well as the maternal side. So just see how this whole process of parturition will takes place. So first of all, just see how actually all these things will happen. First of all, let's just see here the anterior pituitary of the fetus or that baby which is in the mother's womb, that will release one hormone, that is adrenocorticotropic hormone, ACTH, from the anterior pituitary. So from the anterior pituitary, one hormone, that is ACTH, is released from the fetus itself. So ACTH, as we can remember, what is the function of ACTH? It will actually stimulate the adrenal cortex. So just see, suppose here this is the kidney. Just above the kidney there is a adrenal gland. So that adrenal cortex will get stimulated by the release of ACTH. So ACTH will come to the adrenal gland, stimulate the ACTH, and then this ACTH will stimulate the adrenal cortex, and adrenal cortex will release a hormone, that is cortisol hormone. So this cortisol hormone will be released by the fetal adrenal cortex under the influence of ACTH. Now this cortisol will actually released by this fetus, but what happened, it will go mix in the maternal blood via the placenta, and after that this maternal brain, this maternal pituitary gland, it will release a hormone. That hormone is oxytocin. Just see, this oxytocin is released from actually the posterior pituitary gland, posterior pituitary of the mother. So this mother's pituitary gland will release a hormone, that is oxytocin. What happens to the oxytocin? Oxytocin actually is the fastest working hormone. Remember, whenever it is released at that time period, within seconds it will start functioning. So what is the function of this oxytocin? It will actually see, what is the function of oxytocin? This oxytocin will start a severe contraction, and severe contraction means severe contraction in the uterine lining. But along with that, it will also decrease the level of estrogens as well as progesterone hormone. So estrogen and progesterone hormone actually maintains pregnancy. It will actually holds the baby in the uterus. So uterine environment that will be maintained by estrogen and progesterone. So after the pregnancy period, if the baby have to be parturited outside, so that's why what happened, this level of estrogen and progesterone have to be decreased. So how it will be decreased? By the release of oxytocin. See now what happens. First of all, this is the first hormonal control. Now just see the nervous control. So what happened whenever this ACTH from the anterior pituitary of the fetus stimulates the adrenal gland, adrenal cortex of the baby's adrenal gland, it will be releasing a hormone that is cortisol. So during that process period of the time, what happened in this region, in the placenta region, here in this region actually the uterus gets a sensory stimulus. That means here the nerves that is actually attaching to the region of the placenta, they get depolarized, and after that it just carry this sensation to the mother's body also. So that is the FER, fetal ejection reflex. So fetal ejection reflex will be initiated by the fetus as well as the placenta. So FER, whenever it is really actually created, then what happened, this pituitary gland, posterior pituitary gland of the mother, it released the hormone oxytocin. In that same period of time, what happened to this region? First of all, just see the baby is covered by a layer that is known as amnion or amniotic cavity. So within the amniotic cavity, there is a fluid present, that is amniotic fluid. So what happens? First of all, in this period of time, a hormone is released, that is relaxation hormone. See, the whole process of pregnancy is divided into three parts. What are the three parts? First part is the dilation part or dilation period. So in the dilation period, what happened, that uterine lining, that is the amniotic lining, will actually dilate due to one hormone, that is relaxin hormone. So that relaxin hormone is the local hormone released by the female reproductive system itself, and it will dilate the amniotic cavity. So whenever it dilates, it actually start to completely break this amniotic cavity, and because of that, this amniotic fluid will comes out. So whenever this amniotic fluid comes out, then this dilation period will be completed. Due to the hormone relaxin, it will actually come around 6 to 12 hours. So within that 6 to 12 hours, this relaxin hormone caused the breakage of this amniotic cavity, and because of this amniotic cavity broke, that amniotic fluid will come out. From that region, this amniotic cavity is coming out, amniotic cavity is broken down due to what this amniotic fluid is coming out. So at that same time, what happened, this hormonal regulation is going on. So after that, the next process will be started. So after this dilation phase, the second phase is the expulsion phase. So what happens in the expulsion phase? Within actually 10 or 20 minutes, within half an hour, this expulsion phase will complete. So what happens whenever this oxytocin hormone is released from the mother's posterior pituitary, the level of estrogen and the progesterone will decrease, and that very much time a severe contraction will occur in the uterine lining, and whenever this uterine lining will contract, the baby will start to come outside. So from this region, the baby will start to parturate outside. That means it will just come outside. So how this expulsion phase will be initiated? Due to the release of one hormone, that is oxytocin. So whenever this oxytocin hormone is released, what happen? A severe contraction in the uterus cause the expulsion of the baby, and that will occur within 10 to 20 minutes. Within half an hour, this expulsion phase will actually expulsion phase will take place. So what happened, this amniotic fluid will come out in the dilation phase due to the hormone relaxing. Next phase, that is expulsion phase, when this oxytocin hormone is released, it cause actually this oxytocin hormone cause a severe contraction in the uterus. So whenever the severe contraction will occur at that same time, see, contraction will be not like it will be once contracted and after that it will be not dilated, it will be also dilated. So what happens, first of all oxytocin will release, due to what a contraction will occur, then after that relaxin will occur. The relaxin will release, so due to what the dilation phase will occur. So contraction, dilation, contraction, dilation, this way this process will go on. That means first of all oxytocin will cause contraction, then after that relaxin hormone which will dilate the uterine membrane. So contraction and dilation will cause the separation of the baby from the mother's uterus. So that will cause the expulsion phase. Then after that, the third phase is known as the placental phase or the removal phase. So after birth. So this is actually after birth what happens. So just see what happened, the baby will be parturited outside. So whenever the baby is parturited outside, what happened? The parturition process is completed. Actually it is not completed. After that, what happened? In this placental phase, what happened? After some time, whenever the baby is getting parturited outside, then what happened? We will still have the decidua parietalis, decidua capsularis that will be already broken down. So basilis and the part of the placenta will be still present, remain in the uterus. So what happened in this after the expulsion phase, in the placental phase, what happened? The remaining fetal and the mother's placenta, that will just comes outside. So what happened in the placental phase? After the birth of the baby, the fetal and the maternal placenta, this maternal placenta comes outside. So what happened in the placental phase? After the removal of the baby from the mother's body, this placenta, this remaining part of the placenta, all of the fetal as well as the maternal, this placenta will comes outside. So just see, this is the process of parturition. So in this process of parturition, the whole process will be under the control of both nervous and hormonal control. So here the nerves are associated, which will actually start giving stimulation to the pituitary gland so that it can release the hormones. So hormones will be released like oxytocin already from this uterine region, relaxin hormone is released. So that causes, see, the phases, dilation phase, relaxin will release. Expulsion phase, oxytocin will release. In the dilation phase, the relaxin hormone will cause dilation of the amniotic cavity, amniotic fluid will come out. Then expulsion phase, oxytocin will release due to what a severe contraction will occur, and due to what the baby will expelled outside from the head region to the legs, the limbs that will come outside. Then after that, the placental phase, within half an hour, the placenta, the both maternal and the fetal placenta will just comes outside. So that will include in the placental phase. That is the process of parturition. After that, we'll see the lactation period.